Back when I was younger, me and my friends loved to go camping. Once we got our licenses at 16, we were out almost every weekend camping in new spots. Our parents didn't really care as long as we were able to protect ourselves. For this reason, my dad let us borrow one of his guns. It was a Taurus G2C. This happened when we were 18 and seniors in high school. In February, me and my girlfriend Mei Lin, my friend Jin, and his girlfriend Hannah were going to drive to Arkansas and backpack the Ozarks to look at some natural waterfalls. It was a 9-hour drive from where we lived, so we left early and made it there around 7 o'clock p.m. We set up camp at one of the setup sites for the night since it was late and we were tired. My girl and I were sharing a tent and Jin and his girl were sharing another. I had the gun in my tent. Nothing happened on the first night. The next morning we woke up and made breakfast and drove to the start of the trail. We were going to hike to a waterfall and then go find a place to set up camp. On the hike to the waterfall, Hannah kept saying she saw someone standing still and staring at her, but he had been following and she hadn't seen him move. So we stopped to look and we saw a man quickly run away. Jin yelled at him to fuck off or we'll kick his ass, mostly probably for show to impress his girl. We were capable of defending ourselves though if needed. We continued to hike and didn't see him again. We eventually made it to the waterfall and there we had lunch and took pictures. After about 2 hours, we decided to go find a place to camp before it got dark. While we were looking for a place to set up camp, I noticed a freakishly tall, skinny woman staring at us. She had to be at least 6'5". It genuinely freaked me out. I pointed her out and everyone else got unsettled too. We yelled at her to leave us alone and told her we had a gun. She turned around and walked away. We decided to hike further since we were all creeped out. We had no idea if the two weirdos were connected somehow. After another hour, we found a nice spot next to a small flowing creek with a relatively deep pool of water. So we decided to get in the water and relax. While we were splashing around, we talked about the earlier incidents and joked that they were probably hillbillies on drugs. When the sun started to set, we decided to get out and make dinner. We brought chicken breast to grill, rice and vegetables to boil, and some potatoes. We always ate well on our campouts. While I was cooking, Jin set up his tent and helped me with mine. I finished cooking and we ate before cracking open some of the alcohol we brought. I was and still am a pretty heavy smoker, so I brought some weed and papers to roll up. We wanted to have a good time since we put a lot of money into this trip. We told stories and laughed in our intoxicated state. It got to a point where Jin fell out of his chair and just laid on the ground laughing. We did this late into the night and eventually went to our tents. Mei Lin and I were messing around in our tent when we suddenly heard someone laughing outside. At first, I thought it was Jin laughing at us for some reason, so I yelled, "What's so funny?" Jin yelled back, "That wasn't me." That sank my soul and immediately sobered me up. I grabbed the gun, rushed out of the tent, and fired a few shots into the air, yelling for whoever it was to leave us alone or I'd shoot them. That seemed to do the trick because I heard footsteps running away. We moved our tents closer together and decided to have one person stay up at a time as lookout. The next day, we debated going home early, but ultimately decided against it. We were sure we'd scared off whoever it was, so we planned to hike somewhere closer to the exit and camp for one final night. After breakfast, we packed up camp and started the hike back. During the hike, we ran into some other hikers and told them what had happened. They were freaked out too. We chatted for a bit, then continued on. When we stopped for lunch, I realized those were the only other people we'd seen so far, despite there being a ton of cars in the parking lot earlier. After lunch, we continued down the trail, and after about 6 miles, we decided to set up camp. We were around 3 miles from the nearest exit. We pitched our tents and cooked steak and potatoes for dinner. We ate, drank, and smoked again before heading to the tents. In the middle of the night, I woke up needing to pee, so I stepped out of the tent. Out of paranoia, I made sure to bring the gun. While I was peeing, I heard leaves crunching nearby. My heart immediately stopped. I grabbed the gun, finished up, pulled up my pants, and turned on my headlamp. The beam revealed the man from the day before standing in the distance holding a machete. I could see him clearly this time, long dirty black hair and super lanky. I screamed and raised the gun as he started charging at me. I fired off every shot I had and must have hit him somewhere because I heard him yell and saw him fall. By now, Jin, Mei Lin, and Hana were all awake. I told them to pack up. We needed to leave fast. I didn't want to involve the police since I wasn't sure if I could get charged for something. And honestly, his life didn't seem worth it. We didn't bother packing the tent since there wasn't time. We grabbed our bags and practically ran the final 3 miles, making it back to the cars in under an hour. We climbed in, locked the doors, and decided to sleep in the car for the night. We covered the windows and tried to get some rest. When we woke up in the morning, we left immediately and stopped for breakfast at a diner in a small town. We never called the cops, and I'm still conflicted about whether we should have. This happened years ago, and no reports about it ever came out. So for all I know, those psychopaths are still out there.